My father left my grandmother at the airport, but he didn't know I was watching. My name is Dana Granger, and I was 32 years old when my father tried to abandon my grandmother in an airport. My grandmother Edith had Alzheimer's. She often forgot names, dates, and even where she was. But there was one thing she never forgot: who loved her. A few years ago, my parents convinced everyone that they were taking care of Grandma. They moved her into their house and constantly talked about how difficult it was. Then one day they announced a family trip to Arizona. "It'll be good for everyone," my mother said. Something felt wrong, but I couldn't prove it. At the airport, my father sat Grandma down in a lounge chair near the gate. "Just stay here," he told her gently. "We'll be right back." Grandma smiled and nodded. A few minutes later, I stepped away to make a phone call. I was checking on a memory care facility my parents claimed they had arranged. The woman on the phone surprised me. "We don't have any record of your grandmother," she said. My stomach dropped. I turned around. My parents were gone. Their bags were gone. And my grandmother was sitting alone, waiting for people who had no intention of returning. I rushed back to her. For a moment, she looked confused. Then she saw me and smiled. "There you are," she whispered. "I knew you'd come back." That sentence broke my heart. I took her home immediately. That night, I couldn't sleep. The more I thought about it, the more I realized this wasn't a mistake. It was a plan. The next day, I started gathering evidence. I saved text messages. I kept the boarding pass. I wrote down every detail I could remember. Then I found something shocking at Grandma's farm: a real estate folder. Inside was paperwork showing that my father had already started the process of selling Grandma's 160-acre property. Suddenly, everything made sense: the trip, the lies, the abandonment. The farm was worth a fortune. And they wanted it. I contacted an elder law attorney. After reviewing everything, he told me something important. "If your grandmother can't legally sell the farm herself," he explained, "your father can't simply take it either." That changed everything. Soon, my parents filed for legal control over Grandma's affairs. According to them, I was the problem. They claimed I was manipulating her. They claimed I wanted her money. But I had evidence, lots of it. The biggest piece came from airport security footage. The video showed my father sitting with Grandma. It showed him promising to come back. Then it showed him calmly walking away. At one point, he even checked his watch before disappearing through security. Not confused, not overwhelmed, planned. On the day of the court hearing, my parents arrived looking confident. Their lawyer painted them as caring family members. For a while, it seemed like the judge believed them. Then my attorney presented the evidence: the one-way airline ticket, the property documents, the text messages, the voicemail where my mother said, "She won't even know we're gone." Finally, the courtroom watched the airport footage. The room became completely silent. Everyone could see exactly what happened. When the video ended, my father lost his temper. He stood up and shouted, "She's trying to steal what's mine." The judge stared at him. "What's yours?" she asked. That was the moment everything collapsed. Because this had never been about Grandma's care. It was about money. The judge denied my parents' request immediately. Instead, she appointed me as Grandma's legal guardian and conservator. She also stated that abandoning a vulnerable elderly person made my father completely unfit to manage her affairs. For the first time in months, I felt like I could breathe. I took Grandma back to her farm. We planted lavender together. We drank coffee on the porch. And on her good days, she would look at me and smile. "There you are," she'd say. "I knew you'd come back." Years later, I opened a small community cafe for families caring for loved ones with dementia. I named it the Garden Room, a place where no elderly person would ever feel forgotten. Because family isn't the people who promise they'll return. Family is the people who actually do. And no matter how much time passes, I'll always be grateful that on the day everyone else walked away, I came back.